A man once threw one into a river, another buried one in a coffee can, and somewhere deep inside a forgotten mining town, a gemstone worth more than a mansion may still be sitting inside a pile of ordinary dirt. Unnoticed, unclaimed, waiting, because history is full of gems nobody recognized until it was too late. And tonight, you're about to see the list experts almost never talk about. The ghost list, the stones people walk past, the discoveries that should have changed lives, but somehow vanished into silence. This is Pro Gems, and once you see these rocks, you may never look at the ground the same way again. In the winter of 1967, deep in the freezing mountains of Montana, an old prospector carried a strange green stone in his jacket pocket. He thought it looked unusual, heavy, cold, almost glowing under sunlight, but nobody in town cared, because the rock looked rough, broken, worthless, for weeks. He used it as a paperweight inside a tiny cabin beside an abandoned mining trail, until one geologist stopped speaking the moment he saw it. The stone was not worthless, it was sapphire, massive sapphire, hidden inside raw host rock, the kind collectors dream about, the kind museums fight over, and according to local stories, there were more, far more, somewhere in those same mountains. But here's where the story becomes strange, because shortly after the discovery spread, people began disappearing into the hills. Quietly, men with shovels, maps, metal pans, old military backpacks. Locals started noticing headlights moving through the forests after midnight. Small digging sites appeared near frozen streams. And then, just as suddenly, everything stopped. No official reports, no giant mining operation, no headlines, just silence. As if somebody wanted the location forgotten. Even today, some treasure hunters believe pieces of that sapphire deposit still remain hidden beneath Montana soil. Undiscovered, untouched. And if that sounds unbelievable, the next gem on the ghost list is even worse, because this one was thrown away, literally. In 1993, a teenage boy exploring near an old creek bed in North Carolina picked up a dull red stone. Nothing special. At least that's what he thought. The rock wasn't shiny, it wasn't crystal clear. It looked dirty, clouded, broken around the edges. So he tossed it into a toolbox, where it sat for nearly 3 years. 3 years. Imagine that. A fortune sitting beside rusted nails and old screws. Until finally, someone tested it. Ruby. Natural ruby. And not just ruby, one of the rarest American rubies ever found in that region. By then, the story had already spread through local rock hunting communities, and suddenly people became obsessed with old creek beds. Families started digging through mud. Retired miners returned to abandoned sites. Tourists wandered forests carrying flashlights and sifters. Because one terrifying idea had entered everybody's mind. What else had already been missed? How many fortunes were tossed aside because they looked ordinary? And that question is exactly what drives treasure obsession. Not greed, possibility. The idea that hidden wealth may already exist around you, camouflaged as normal stone. Which brings us to one of the most disturbing discoveries on the entire list. A gem nobody was supposed to find. Western Australia. Endless heat, endless dust. The kind of landscape that feels ancient enough to swallow secrets forever. In 1979, a driller working near an isolated mining zone noticed flashes inside cracked rock pulled from underground. Tiny electric colors, blue, green, violent flashes of fire. At first they assumed contamination, maybe machinery residue, but then the colors intensified. Opal, black opal, the rarest kind, and not tiny fragments, huge veins, hidden deep inside stone that had already been ignored by earlier crews. Now here's the unsettling part. According to local mining stories, the area was quietly restricted soon afterward. Some workers claimed security increased overnight, others claimed trucks began moving material only after dark, and several prospectors later said they were warned not to search nearby ground. Officially, very little was confirmed, but among treasure hunters, the whispers never stopped. Because black opal does something strange to people. Once you see it, really see it, you understand why obsession begins. The colors don't look natural. They move like trapped lightning, like galaxies trapped inside stone. And some pieces become so valuable, owners refuse to reveal where they were found. Think about that. A rock so beautiful, people hide entire locations to protect it. That is treasure paranoia, and it has existed for centuries. Because history keeps proving one dangerous truth. The earth hides wealth in places nobody expects, even graveyards. In the early 1900s, workers expanding an old cemetery in Sri Lanka uncovered strange blue crystals mixed into wet soil. At first they thought it was broken glass. Imagine that, future fortunes mistaken for trash. But those crystals turned out to be blue sapphire deposits connected to ancient flood layers buried beneath the land itself. And suddenly, grave diggers became treasure hunters. The soil changed value overnight. Families whispered about hidden stones beneath homes. Farmers began examining dirt differently. People became suspicious of ordinary ground. Because once gemstones appear somewhere unexpected, every nearby rock starts looking dangerous, valuable, possible. That psychological shift is powerful, and it spreads fast, especially when rare gems are involved. But nothing on this list compares to what happened next, because the fifth discovery may be one of the most terrifying near misses in modern gem history. A stone accidentally left in darkness for decades. A stone experts now believe could have changed an entire family forever. An elderly man died in rural Oregon in the late 1980s. Inside his garage sat jars filled with rough rocks collected over 40 years. Nobody cared about them. His relatives almost dumped everything into landfill containers. Until one collector noticed something unusual buried beneath dust. A deep neon flash. Green-blue. Impossible color. The collector froze, carefully cleaned the stone, then realized what he was holding. Fire opal. Rare fire opal. And not small pieces. Several large specimens hidden inside ordinary coffee jars. But the real mystery came later, because maps found inside the garage hinted at another location. A second site, possibly much larger. The coordinates were incomplete, partially damaged, and according to local stories, people still search those hills today, quietly, alone, sometimes disappearing into remote volcanic terrain for weeks at a time, hoping to rediscover what that old man found. Or feared, because some treasure hunters believe he stopped collecting for a reason. Something happened out there, something that made him hide the stones instead of selling them. And when people start hiding treasure instead of cashing it in, the mystery becomes far more dangerous. Because now it's not just about wealth, it's about secrecy, fear, obsession. And the deeper you go into the ghost list, the stranger these stories become. Northern Canada, miles of silence, ice-covered ridges stretching beyond the horizon, a place where survival itself feels temporary. In the late 1990s, a small exploration crew drilling through ancient rock layers noticed something strange inside the core samples. Tiny flashes, not gold, not silver, something harder, sharper. The kind of reflection that instantly changes the atmosphere around experienced miners. Diamonds. Raw diamonds, hidden inside volcanic rock older than human civilization itself. Now imagine this moment, a frozen wilderness, no cities nearby, no roads, just a handful of exhausted workers realizing they may be standing on billions of dollars. And according to stories from former contractors, the mood changed overnight. Security tightened, conversations stopped, workers became paranoid. Because once enormous wealth enters the picture, trust disappears fast, especially in isolated places. But here's what makes this story belong on the ghost list. Several nearby zones were reportedly dismissed years earlier because the rock looked wrong. Too dark, too broken, too ugly. Experts had literally walked past diamond-bearing ground without recognizing it. That is how hidden treasure survives. Not underground, inside human assumptions. And even now, geologists believe countless diamond-rich formations remain undiscovered across remote northern terrain. Entire fortunes concealed beneath stone, nobody bothers examining carefully. Which raises a frightening question. How many people already touched wealth without realizing it? A rancher in Nevada may know the answer, because one afternoon, while repairing fencing near dry volcanic hills, he noticed unusual blue fragments scattered through dirt after heavy rain. At first they resembled broken glass, sharp, electric, almost glowing against the desert floor. He nearly ignored them, nearly. But something felt strange. The color was too intense, too alive. So he filled a bucket, and months later, a gem specialist identified the material as exceptionally rare, blue turquoise connected to an overlooked deposit buried beneath the region. Suddenly, collectors arrived. Dealers started asking questions. Survey crews appeared. And according to local rumors, offers were quietly made for surrounding land before the discovery became public. Because the people who understand gemstones best know something ordinary people don't. The first discovery is rarely the real treasure. The real treasure is what still hasn't been found. And that idea creates obsession, especially in older generations who spent their lives around mines, deserts, and rivers. Because they understand something modern society forgot. The earth hides things deliberately. Not every fortune announces itself. Some wait patiently for decades, even centuries. Which brings us to one of the oldest mysteries on the entire ghost list. A gemstone discovery connected to ancient ruins. A discovery so unsettling, some historians still avoid discussing it openly. Deep in Colombia, long before modern mining companies arrived, local workers uncovered green crystals inside collapsed stone chambers near forgotten excavation zones. Emeralds, massive emeralds. But what disturbed people wasn't the stones themselves. It was where they were found, hidden beside ceremonial artifacts, buried intentionally, protected, as if ancient people believed the gems possessed dangerous importance, and in many ways, they did, because emerald obsession has destroyed lives for centuries. Empires fought over them, smugglers vanished over them, entire mountains became war zones because of them. But the truly chilling part is this. Some emerald deposits were never relocated after early discoveries. Think about that carefully. Somewhere in those mountains, legendary gem sources may still exist untouched because the original paths were lost to time. Landslides, conflict, jungle growth, human greed, all swallowing the locations whole. That possibility keeps treasure hunters awake at night because forgotten locations are the most dangerous kind of mystery. Nobody knows who else is searching. Nobody knows what remains hidden there. And sometimes, people searching for ancient gemstone sites disappear completely into terrain that refuses to give answers back. Still, the ghost list becomes stranger because the next discovery was hidden in plain sight inside an American tourist town. Thousands of people walked over it for years, every single day, without noticing. Arkansas, hot summer air, tourists laughing beside dusty mining attractions, children searching for quartz and fool's gold under bright sunlight, completely unaware that beneath their feet, real diamonds had already been found nearby. Not tiny industrial fragments, real gem-quality diamonds. And the terrifying part? Many visitors reportedly ignored suspicious stones because they assumed valuable gems would look more obvious. That misconception cost people fortunes, because raw gemstones rarely look cinematic at first. They look rough, clouded, ordinary, until light hits them correctly, until someone trained notices subtle details. That single moment changes everything, which is why experienced treasure hunters study texture more than beauty, weight more than sparkle, because hidden value rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers quietly, and sometimes those whispers create obsession powerful enough to consume entire lives. Just ask the man known only as the Midnight Collector. For nearly 20 years, locals in parts of Arizona reported seeing an older man searching dry washes alone after storms, always at night, always carrying lanterns. He rarely spoke, rarely stayed in town. But jewel dealers occasionally noticed something strange. Exceptional stones appearing quietly through private sales. Fire agate, rare jasper, unusual mineral specimens with almost impossible patterns. Nobody understood where he found them. Then suddenly, He vanished. No explanation. No confirmed identity. Just stories. And one abandoned trailer discovered years later containing maps marked with circles deep in desert terrain. Treasure hunters became obsessed immediately. Some claimed the maps pointed toward forgotten mineral zones. Others believed they marked hidden caches. But one detail disturbed everyone who saw them. Several locations had warning symbols drawn beside them. Not treasure marks. Warnings. As if certain places should never be disturbed. Now imagine hearing that while standing alone in empty desert at night. Wind moving through dry canyon rock. Every shadow looking suspicious. Every stone suddenly feeling important. That's what gemstone obsession does. It changes perception. Once people believe hidden wealth exists nearby, they start scanning the earth differently forever. And perhaps no discovery proves that better than the final entry on the ghost list, because this gem may still be out there right now, waiting, hidden somewhere ordinary, ignored by thousands, just like before.